Hey, I am Stefan, and I have not uploaded a video in over a year. So, but here I am doing this one. How's everybody? That's a stupid question. It's been terrible. Yeah, I haven't uploaded in a while. That's because I have a day job over at Team 4-Star. I'm making a sort of a more loose video, more free-form video. I'm probably gonna polish it up in editing. We'll see. Editing me. The subject of this video is, movies that traumatized me. It just feels like a thing I can talk about. So I will. That's my intro for it. Yeah, sure. The main movie I want to talk about today is a movie called Mission to Mars.
We may have found the key to permanent human colonization.
Yes. Okay, we're ready to light this candle.
Let's go to Mars.
Yes. Yes.
Directed by... what's his name? The guy who directed Mission Impossible. Cinephiles be pissed at me for not remembering this guy's name. But I don't care. Brian De Palma. Yeah, that's a pretty well-known household name. While I'm here, what's this movie got? 24% on Rotten Tomatoes, so not considered a good movie. It stars Don Cheadle and Gary Sinise, I believe. Yes, Gary Sinise. Jerry O'Connell and Tim Robbins, like a few names you would know. And it's terrifying. It was rated PG. And when I show you the clips from this movie, you're gonna be wondering how is this movie rated PG? And I do not know. The Wikipedia article says it was suggested by the Disney ride.
Welcome to Mission Control, Space Travelers. And in a moment we'll make what we call a hyperspace jump. Even those branch canyons you see are 6 or 7 miles wide and go back as much as 100 miles from the main rift.
I don't know what a movie being suggested by a Disney ride means, but I think it just meant there's a ride called Mission to Mars. Make a movie about going to Mars with that name. And so they did. Movie came out in 2000, and my parents took me to see it because, okay, it's a space movie. It stars Gary Sinise. Everyone knows Gary Sinise. It's PG rated. It must not be bad for children. It's very bad for children. It gave me actual nightmares. Because the thing about this movie is that it's a slasher film where space is the killer. So all these space people, otherwise known as astronauts, go into space and they all start fucking dying. There's a husband and wife duo amongst the astronauts, and the guy is floating in space. He runs out of gas to push himself along, so his wife is trying to push along to get him, but she doesn't have enough, and he knows she doesn't have enough gas, but she's gonna keep doing it for as long as she thinks she might be able to save him. So he decides to sacrifice himself so that she goes back and doesn't die. In order to do that, he takes off his helmet in space. As he's doing this, she's screaming, crying. It's, again, very traumatizing when you're 10 years old to watch this person see someone they love die right in front of them in this way. I don't think before then I'd really conceptualized space as a dangerous place. This changed all of that because, yeah, he takes the helmet off, she's screaming, she's crying, and then the movie cuts to his face afterwards. And this is what it looks like. I saw that when I was 10 years old. I thought I was seeing a normal movie. It felt like I had finally come to terms with what death really is in that moment. Man, it messed me up. But it's not the only scene that messed me up, because I also have a very distinct memory of this other scene that I must tell you about. Once they actually get on Mars, the death is not over. There's tornadoes on Mars. I don't know if this is a real science fact. I assume it is. There must be some sort of basis in it. I'll look it up later.
Yes, there are tornadoes on Mars. Oh no, they can't tear you apart. You may be asking why I said the thing about people
So, like, they're on Mars. There's these big fucking tornadoes, and they're getting sucked up in them. Like, Mars is trying to kill them. The planet is trying to kill them, it seems like.
What the fuck? The tornado just roared us?
And it's kind of like how Twister, another movie that traumatized me. I saw Twister when I lived in Tornado Alley. That's the extent of the trauma. I think it speaks for itself. But yeah, this movie also had tornadoes, and like this guy gets sucked up into the tornado. He's spinning around, he's getting all crazy, the editing's getting insane, and then he just... So yeah, I saw that movie when I was 10 years old. It gave me nightmares, and any chance I had of wanting to be an astronaut as a kid was completely dismantled by this film. Speaking of Mars-related movies, I remember when I was much younger, my parents would watch movies when I was supposed to be in bed, and I wanted to watch with them. I was really young, like maybe 5 years old, maybe even younger. I learned what this movie was later because the imagery that I saw burned itself into my brain. But the movie is Total Recall. You know, this is the Get Your Ass to Mars movie. It's another Mars movie. The scene, I think it's a dream sequence where Arnold Schwarzenegger is like... I've never actually watched this movie. I know it's great, whatever, that's not the point. This is the only time I remember, like, sneaking out to go watch a movie that my parents were watching. Arnold Schwarzenegger's having a dream of being on Mars. His helmet comes off, and, like, the eyes are bulging, and it's that crazy prosthetic. That burned itself into my brain. I only figured out what that movie was years later because I remembered that scene and realized that that was the movie that scene was in. So yeah, like those are two Mars movies that like messed me up. I do have a really weird one. Probably a lot of people my age have heard, and definitely older, have heard the one-eyed, one-horn, flying purple people eater song. If not, it goes a little bit like this. That's all I can do. There was a movie on the Disney Channel that was based on the one-eyed, one-horn, flying purple people eater.
Billy.
And I think the thing that my kid brain like really attached itself to is People Eater. I think I didn't like that because I had a reoccurring nightmare of the People Eater going to a carnival I was at and just eating people. He would put people on a plate, lift it over his head, spin around. This is all an actual dream I had as a kid. And he would turn them into donuts and then he would eat them. Because I guess that's how I conceptualized people getting eaten, is that they had to turn into food for them to be eaten. And yeah, and then at some point in the dream, the Power Rangers did show up, but I don't think I ever got the catharsis of the Power Rangers defeating the one-eyed, one-horn, flying purple people eater. So I guess put the one-eyed, one-horn, flying purple people eater on the list of movies that traumatized me. And this didn't traumatize me. I just want to talk about it. So there's a scene in... now I'm just talking about scenes in movies from when I was a kid. But this is where I'm at now. So there's a scene in the Barney movie.
If Barney, the dinosaur...
Is that Bernadette Peters? Yeah, that's Bernadette Peters.
Why don't you use your imagination?
Okay, I will. Me too.
They have a sequence, and it's the strangest sequence of this strange man who has a magical egg on his truck, and in the car, he has this whole setup. Like, he has a fryer in there, he's making his own fries, he's like grilling burgers inside his car, he has an ice cream machine, I think. Like, I think he even has a soda machine. Like, he has an entire burger restaurant inside of his car. I don't know what the purpose of that was. It just has always struck me as like, what a strange thing to have happen. Just period. There's no point to it. He doesn't really show up throughout the rest of the film. He's not a villain. He just does this one thing. He has this insane setup inside his car, and then he's never in the movie again. And I guess in a way that does haunt me. What was that?
Thanks for watching the video. There's some things that you should know, like I have a Patreon that